am joined by 9 Minnesota State representatives in making these requests, and I think there's 6 here today. These representatives include Glenn Gruenhagen of Glencoe, Eric Lucero of Dayton, Shane Mecklin of Clear Lake, Tim Miller of Prindsburg, Linda Runbeck of Circle Pines, Cal Barr of East Bethel, John Poston of Lakeshore, Dwayne Quam of Byron, and Jeremy Munson of Lake Crystal. We are making this request on 3 direct grounds. First, Representative Omar improperly and deliberately filed for a tax status for which she was not qualified, an illegal action in both federal and state law. The Minnesota Campaign Finance Board found on June 6th of this year that she illegally used campaign funds to pay a law firm to review her tax records. The Campaign Finance Board exposed crystal clear probable cause for a tax fraud or tax evasion investigation when they discovered that Representative Omar filed as married and filing jointly with Mr. Ahmad Hersey in 2014 and 2015. During those years, she was legally married to Mr. Ahmad Elmi.
The House voted to remove Ilhan Omar. The vote fell mostly along party lines, 218 in favor, 211 against. Republicans supported the move. Democrats strongly opposed it, calling it politically motivated and pointing out that Republicans have defended their own members after making controversial statements. Republican leaders pointed to a series of past statements Omar made, especially regarding U.S. foreign policy and Israel.
Did the illegal filing produce a lower tax liability for the couple? Did her illegal tax filing bring her tax exemption for which she was not legally qualified? Usually people choose the tax filing status that yields them the lowest tax liability. Also, the board shared that the couple filed jointly during 2 specific years. Ilhan Omar and Ahmad Hersey have been together as a couple for 17 years. Given her record of crimes and violations of so many laws, it may be worth evaluating her claims of status in those other years as well. Second, Representative Omar lived together simultaneously with her first and second husbands at the same addresses in Minnesota and North Dakota in 2009 through 2011. The tax enforcers may need to check if she used an illegal tax filing status and obtained tax deductions, including standard deduction levels for which she was not qualified in those years. Third, we know that Representative Omar took improper kickbacks from 3 Minnesota colleges in 2017 when she oversaw their state budgets in 2017. Under campaign pressure, she returned those kickbacks in 2018. It is worth checking to see if she reported the kickbacks as income in 2017 or deducted the paybacks as expenses in 2018. 5 grounds for an investigation include corruption in public office and tax evasions on grounds of illegal filing status, improper deductions, concealed income from kickbacks, and improper claims for expenses. We are also aware of Representative Omar's pattern of improper conduct. She has been fined by the Campaign Finance Board for diverting campaign funds for an unpermitted political trip to Orlando. She has been directed to pay back her expenses for uncovered political trips to Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Chicago, Florida, and Washington, D.C. She has been punished for conversion of campaign funds to pay for personal legal and accounting services. She has flouted laws regarding the filing of her personal financial data in a way that distorted the political campaign process. On June 25th, I asked my Congresswoman Angie Craig to launch an investigation into these improprieties. That went nowhere. She said, "Do it yourself." So on July 23rd, I asked the U.S. House Ethics Committee to investigate Representative Omar. That request is currently being reviewed by the Office of Congressional Ethics. On that same day, I launched OmarTruth.com in an effort to rally Minnesotans and Americans to help bring political pressure to bring about a congressional investigation. After 2 weeks, we have over 44,000 citizens expressing their strong desire to bring about a full investigation, and the list is growing. I will be adding today's request to the facts available on omartruth.com. Today, I and 9 other representatives are asking the nonpartisan federal and state tax enforcers to open investigations. We are simply asking them to do their jobs. Questions, anyone?
Do state lawmakers have sway to influence the IRS or Minnesota Department of Revenue? Have you successfully asked for such things in the past? Is there a precedent?
I think certainly there's precedent, and I think it's incumbent upon us, Mary, lawmakers, the media, and others, when they see very clear, blatant violations of our laws, to find every way we can to appeal to the people who can investigate and prosecute those laws. And that's what we're doing here today.
How would a state lawmaker's request be different, though, than an average citizen? That's what I'm asking. Do you have any special sway or ability to request something?
You know, I don't think so. You know, I guess the fact that we each represent 40,000 people might be helpful, and it might be.
Some of her remarks, dating back to 2019, were seen by critics as anti-Semitic or offensive. One tweet in particular, where she said, "It's all about the Benjamins," drew backlash for playing into negative stereotypes about Jewish influence in politics. She did apologize at the time, saying she was unaware of the harmful undertones.
Something that that those individuals take under consideration, but this gives us an ability, I think, to, in an organized, deliberative fashion, say, we have asked the Minnesota Department of Revenue to do their job. We have asked the IRS to do their job. Before we got here today, we don't know if they have been fully informed and appraised of these facts. After today, we can be sure that they have been fully informed and appraised of these facts.
So President Trump has an obvious place in this as the head of the federal executive branch. Would you like him to ask the IRS to do this? He could have more sway.
Well, he would have a lot more sway. Yeah. You know, I don't know that it's really our job to make that request to the president. I think he is aware of what is going on. I expect he is. You know, this effort today may make him more aware of some of those details, and it will be his decision as he looks at the facts and the circumstances in Washington to make that call.
Is that part of your goal today, to get more of his attention?
I think it's our goal to get his attention and every American's attention about what is going on here. It seems to me that that if this was a conservative Republican, that we would already have action going forward. And the fact that no one is above the law needs to be remembered here, and our agencies need to do their work.
If it was a conservative Republican, there's a lot of questions about President Trump's home taxes. Do you think he should be investigated for his own taxes?
Well, I think people have asked President Trump to bring his taxes forward for political reasons. I don't know that there's been anything expressed to show that there's probable cause for a crime.
Ilhan Omar gave a passionate speech before the vote. She argued that this wasn't just about her. It was about silencing voices that challenge U.S. foreign policy orthodoxy. She said her background as someone who experienced war and displacement brings a valuable, necessary viewpoint to American diplomacy. Supporters echoed that, saying her removal sends a chilling message to minority lawmakers and outsiders trying to break into the political mainstream. Critics pushed back, saying that raising tough questions is fine, but language matters, especially on a committee that deals with sensitive global relationships.
And voice will not be diminished if I am not on this committee for one term. My voice will get louder and stronger, and my leadership will be celebrated around the world as it has been.
Today's resolution, as it relates to Representative Omar, details 6 statements she made as a sitting member of Congress that under the totality of the circumstances disqualify her from serving on the Committee on Foreign Affairs.
Resolution 9, on which the ayes and nays.
Don't tell me this is about consistency. Don't tell me that this is about a condemnation of anti-Semitic remarks when you have a member of the Republican caucus who has talked about Jewish space lasers and an entire amount of tropes and also elevated her to some of the highest committee assignments in this body. This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America. Don't tell me, because I didn't get a single apology when my life was threatened.
The representative can say whatever the heck she wants, but we don't have to accept it or embrace it. Individuals who hold such hateful views should rightly be barred from that type of committee.
This institution is better because of her leadership, and the Foreign Affairs Committee benefits from her perspective. So let's talk about what's really happening. Republicans are waging a blatantly Islamophobic and racist attack on Congresswoman Omar. And I've said it before, I will say it again. The white supremacy happening is unbelievable. This is despicable.
We're not removing her from other committees. We just do not believe when it comes to foreign affairs, especially the responsibility of that position around the world with the comments that you make. She shouldn't serve there.
Democrats argued this wasn't really about Omar's past comments. It was about payback. During the previous Congress, Democrats had voted to strip a few Republican members of their committee assignments over inflammatory remarks. Now, with Republicans back in control, they were returning the favor. This story isn't just about one lawmaker. It's part of a bigger conversation about how Congress works. Is this about holding people accountable for harmful language? Or is it a tit-for-tat political move? Is there room for different perspectives on foreign policy? Or are there certain lines you just can't cross? There aren't easy answers. But what's clear is that these kinds of fights over committee assignments are becoming more frequent, more political, and more public. So that's the full picture, as clearly and fairly as I could lay it out. What do you think? Was Omar's removal justified? Or was it political retaliation? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, go ahead and hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives on political stories without the noise. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.